What's going on, ladies and germs? One thing that I didn't know was, in fact, Harbor Freight actually does sell that 3M adapter for polish and sanders. It's in the sanding section. I didn't see it. I honestly didn't see it. But somebody on Facebook reached out to me and told me that in fact they do sell it. It must have been sold out when I came through. So I was glad to see that they actually do sell that, because something so small like that, you would think, well, why wouldn't they sell it? But in fact, they actually do. So I was wrong. Here's a picture he sent me. Just got done checking out this Volkswagen Touareg, and needed to lift up part of the seat, which required me to have my triple squares. So I'm working on this Touareg, right? This Volkswagen Touareg. I needed some triple squares. I had these VIM ones, the longer ones. Work great, by the way. Don't really have any complaints. There's a little bit of wear on them, but they still work and they fit great. Kind of needed a shallow and a pinch. Lucky for me, Matt Kilkenny stopped back by, and I picked up these ADB short triple squares, impact rated. Why? Because I like using the cordless gun more times than not. Really helps out to get things done faster. We're going to talk about speed this evening. Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you're enjoying your work week. We're getting over hump day now, right? Getting ready to step into Thursday, aka Tay Thursday, and then right on to Friday, payday for some, and then the weekend, right? And what's this weekend? Halloween. So happy Halloween to those of you that can actually celebrate it. And here we are back in the garage talking about things that can make you faster as a mechanic. I think we'll start the list off with the most basic of basic, if that makes sense, which is basically just staying organized. That's the number one thing in this industry when you want to become faster and you're just starting out and you're still relatively slow. Being organized or some way of staying organized is going to be the number one thing that's going to make you be faster in the long run. So when you're taking something apart, learning what kind of system works best for you, whether it's labeling in a bag or magnetic tray or writing something down on paper or taping something off or taking pictures or small video clips of something and then having that reference to come back to when you're going back together is definitely going to make you faster, okay? That's the most basic of basic, okay? Let's get into something a little bit more advanced or intermediate, which I think is on everyone's mind, and most of you probably know. Some of you don't care, some of you do care, some of you are just not aware of it, but cordless tools or air tools, either one will suffice. But I've seen so many different times that certain mechanics or technicians in certain spots will still do things by hand. And I remember this old expression a friend of mine used to tell me: by the time you went and got your cordless or air tool set up, I've already got it off by hand. Yeah, that's the case for some things, not everything. There are certain situations where you have multiple fasteners or lots of things to take off when an air tool or a cordless tool will serve you well. I myself prefer high RPM versus higher torque because I can break something loose and then run it out, right? So here I was doing a Ford Mustang 4.6 liter cylinder head removal. I cracked everything loose you saw in the beginning of the video with my 1/2 inch, and then you saw me using my 1/4 inch with a step-up adapter to 3/8. And with a 15mm socket, I was able to run them out. I had the right amount of length, and I was able to actually fit this cordless tool option in there to run it out. Some of you guys might be saying, what happened to that Milwaukee, bro? I actually gave it away to the shop owner before he moved back east. Kind of as a tribute to, like, hey, thanks for everything that you've done for me. Every time you wrench from here on out, hopefully he'll think of me. I know it was his go-to tool when we were working together, and now he'll be out there working on his own cars and things like that. Hopefully relaxing, enjoying the good life, retired out and everything. So I wish him best of luck, and hopefully he enjoys the Milwaukee as much as he did when he was utilizing it while we were at the shop. But cordless tools, air tools, those things are definitely going to make you faster, and you'll be surprised at what different combinations or what areas you can actually fit them in. I just see too many times guys still trying to run things out by hand and sitting there going back and forth and ratcheting. Not only does it get exhausting, I mean, how many times have you tried to sit there and turn something? So not only does it get exhausting to do it physically by hand and not have a cordless option, but it's also a time waster. By not using the time savers that you have available in your arsenal, you're losing out on those hours that you could have had and could have put towards either your commission, or if you're flat rate, you could have boosted your hours by simply just having air tools or cordless tools at the ready. Cordless or air tools definitely gotta be on the list to make you faster. The third thing this is gonna sound kind of indifferent and weird, but I've been doing heavy line for so long that when I actually do get a small repair, there's still a little bit of shock and awe at the shop as to how I finished that one small repair so fast, because I'm always on some big job. So I guess they just don't expect me to get it done very fast because I'm always on the big jobs. But doing all these big jobs has made me progressively faster at doing some of the smaller stuff, because I've already been around or near or in that area and learned the trick to getting around something to get to the fastener, to get it out quicker. So I think by doing more big jobs, it does make you quicker when it comes to the smaller jobs. So I definitely want to put that in there as number 3 thing that could potentially make you faster. Number 4, and I guess this goes without saying, but just knowing the product line or knowing that specific vehicle, those of you that have worked on your own vehicle out in the front of your house, maybe you have the most experience with that vehicle. Let's say it's a Jeep, so you're gonna be killer fast at that. But then let's say somebody throws you an Audi, you might be thrown off, it might be a little bit scary, and it might take you forever to figure out how to take it apart, right? So I think knowing the product line or knowing what it is that you're working on before you work on it definitely helps and is more a favorable thing when it comes to just being faster, okay? So let's say for number 4, just knowing the product line. And if you're working at an independent shop and not a dealership, you're gonna run into some of the same exact manufacturers over and over and over for the same exact problem, and progressively you'll get faster. It's the same thing if you're at a dealership. If you're at a dealership, you're working on that entire manufacturer lineup like I was over at Chrysler, right? I had Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and just over time during that 3-year period that I was there, I got progressively faster and I was able to beat the clock more times than not because I got so used to working on the same thing, I got into a rhythm. I even had cardboard cutouts, which now are in number 5, knowing how to take it apart and having the information already readily available. So yes, there is All Data, there's Identifix, there's Mitchell, there's a slew of different repair sites that you can go to learn how to take something apart, torque it down, etc. So just having that cardboard cutout really made me faster at work. I would take it and I would slide it behind the windshield wiper blades and I'd have everything, boom, right there on display. Torque specs, timing marks, cam marks, I had everything already preemptively lined up. And then of course, not just that, but I even created folders for certain things at the independent shop that I'm just doing all the time that I can go back to and reference. So instead of having a cardboard cutout now I have a few folders, like for my 6-liter stuff, right? I got a folder designated to the 6-liter. I have Hondas that come in all the time for water pumps and timing belts. So I have a little tiny folder set aside for that. Just little things like that. I don't do it for every vehicle. That would be ridiculous. I might as well have a bookshelf or be All Data at a certain point. I don't do all that. I just do it for the certain things that come in often enough throughout the week, month, etc., to the point where I don't have to look it up. I can literally pull the folder out, bam, throw it around in front of me and go to town. All right, we're gonna step into number 6, and this is gonna be the last thing that we're gonna talk about. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I probably missed, but going from number 1 all the way to number 6, the 6th thing that's gonna make you progressively faster is actually having the special tool when you need it. Yes, there is a way to work around most scenarios, but I'm gonna tell you, you risk damaging something. Having the special tool does make it faster, especially when it comes to setting timing. If you don't have a cam lock tool to shove into place, if you don't have that 4.6 special tool that holds the crank in place so you can set the chains and then manipulate the camshafts to be right, there's a handful of specialty tools or sockets that are gonna make your life easier and is gonna overall make you faster at this job, because there are a lot of different things. Now granted, yes, when you work at an independent shop, the bill has no limit as far as how many tools that you need to own. At least at the dealership when I was there, I didn't need to own very much because they already had an entire room filled with special tools that I never had to buy, and we very rarely took anything in that was heavy anything other than the product lines that we sold, because we didn't have the special tools and the guys didn't know how to do it. Now that I'm at the independent shop for going on 4 years now, I have learned to work around certain facets of this trade to where I can get away with not using special tools, but there are a lot of situations that I'm like, no dude, seriously, we really need this special tool, or I need this special socket to do it. Just give me a couple days, right? Amazon Prime. That being said, I'm gonna leave links down below for you in the description that's gonna take you to some tools that are gonna be time savers for you, to include the VIM triple square sockets that I showed you earlier on in this video, to include some air tools, maybe some cordless tools. We'll get into more of my thoughts and feelings about professional lineup cordless versus DIY or big box store cordless, and why I think there's a price difference in a later video. That's all I got for today. Thanks as always for watching my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. We'll see you next time. Deuces.